This is Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you.
Good morning, everyone. Glad to have you with us on this Tuesday. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Jacqueline Matter.
I'm Ray Collins. It is July the 18th, 5 o'clock, and a lot of noise yesterday, but no rain, at least near downtown. You get rain?
Oh my goodness. I was driving on the highway and I got monsooned practically. It was ridiculous. So much rain, I couldn't even see the car in front of me.
What time was that about?
It was about 2:30, 3 o'clock.
That's right.
Yeah, coming from University Parkway area.
Yeah.
So lots of rain in my area. I don't know about downtown.
No, nothing much downtown. What do you say, John Scalzi?
Sounds like you guys live in Florida.
Fair enough.
Rain's on one side of the street, not on the other.
That's so true.
Right.
Kind of like what we saw yesterday. The showers did start a little bit earlier, though, in the early afternoon, and then generally moved into inland areas, so that by the evening, it was kind of nice outside. In fact, even a lot of the afternoon along the coastline was nice because, you know, we didn't see a temperature above 90 degrees. We've seen 93 over the last couple of days, but yesterday only hit 90, and the cloud cover kind of kept some of the beating sun down just a little bit, so it was nice. We're looking at some pleasant weather outside right now, although we do have one lone shower headed toward the Venice area. Watch for that this morning in the next half hour or so. Otherwise, we'll have a mix of sun and clouds similar to what we saw yesterday to start off the day, with more sunshine by around 9, 10, 11 o'clock, followed by a 1, 2, or 3 o'clock shower near the coast and a 4, 5, or 6 o'clock shower in inland areas. Rain chance, not too bad, about 50% or so. We'll have the complete forecast for you coming up in a few.
All right, talk to you soon. Thank you, John. Checking the roads first off in Manatee County. Already some buildup at 5 a.m. Plenty of folks are leaving downtown Bradenton right now and heading south. Also, we see on University some buildup in the westbound lanes around Lockwood Ridge and Tuttle. Otherwise pretty clear. In South County, all clear at 5:02 on your Tuesday morning.
Topping our news this morning, a living seawall is coming to the Sarasota Bayfront.
Yeah, city commissioners approved funding for a wall in front of an existing seawall near O'Leary's Tiki Bar at Bayfront Park. Our Rick Adams explains.
A living seawall got the green light from Sarasota City Commissioners Monday afternoon. It will go in front of the current seawall that's being built at O'Leary's Tiki Bar and Grill on the Sarasota Bayfront.
It's a way to improve traditional seawalls. It's modules that go in front of traditional seawalls that help habitat come in and live near the walls again, and it also helps deflect wave energy. This
250-foot living seawall will be very similar to the one constructed in Palmetto and will be made up of reef balls. The city will be working closely with Marine Lab on this project. Experts say in addition to it attracting lots of marine life, it also has environmental benefits and will help protect the regular seawall from erosion. Christine Finn of Lakewood Ranch visits O'Leary's with her family many times a year. She is excited to hear about this project.
I think it's great. They're definitely respecting the environment and doing the right thing, and I like that.
Sarasota City Commissioners voted 4-1 in favor of the $46,000 needed to get the project off the ground. Hagan Brody was the commissioner who voted against the living seawall.
It's really an experimental thing for Moat Marine to do some research for, which I am all for. However, we do have some budget issues currently, and I think that we have a couple of more important items to address.
City officials tell us it should take about 4 months from beginning to end to complete the project. In Sarasota, I'm Rick Adams, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
As for the other two big topics on the table at the Sarasota City Commission meeting last night, commissioners are still discussing the city's temporary ban on medical marijuana dispensaries. Commissioners voted to extend a temporary ban on dispensaries in the city for another 60 days, but now the clock is ticking and commissioners need to make decisions on zoning and locations. The city originally planned to have the dispensaries at an office away from neighborhoods and schools, but Governor Rick Scott signed a bill earlier this month that says local governments have to allow the same zoning laws for dispensaries as any traditional pharmacy.
The public has to understand we only have two options. We either ban them completely or we allow them in the same places that we allow pharmacies, which is just about everywhere. The state preempted us, took our ability away to regulate that. So what we're doing now is crafting an ordinance that fits in with what the state has allowed us to do.
City leaders also worry about the traffic dispensaries would bring to the area. And commissioners also voted unanimously to require leashes for dogs at all city parks. Previously, dogs were allowed to run free in all city parks with the exception of 4. Homeowners in the Indian Beach Sapphire Shores neighborhood wanted their park exempt, but the commissioners voted against that idea. Now dogs are still allowed to run without leashes at specific dog parks in Sarasota.
It is 5:05 right now. What was a search for a missing 13-year-old girl in Hillsborough County has now turned into a homicide investigation. Janessa Shannon's body was found in the Triple Creek Nature Preserve in Riverview last Wednesday. Over the weekend, the sheriff's office said they were investigating the case as a homicide. Shannon disappeared over 2 weeks ago. Her family reported that Janessa was last seen at one point in Manatee County, where her mother lives.
Now to one of our top stories online at mysuncoast.com overnight. A mother is being praised for following her instincts after seeing a man slumped in the seat of his running car with a toddler in the front seat. Videos show 29-year-old Winton Folks slumped over in the driver's seat asleep while his 2-year-old son roamed the car, even trying to wake him up with his cell phone by hitting it on his chest. When police arrived, the man's foot was on the brake and the driver's door unlocked with no child restraint in the vehicle. He has since been charged with DUI and child abuse without great bodily harm.
I'm just glad I was there at the right time to see, because who knows how long they were really sitting there. And the baby started to move the tires at that point, and you could see him hitting his dad or whoever he was with the phone.
Folks' grandmother later arrived to take custody of the vehicle and the child. He'll make his first appearance in court on August 3rd. We'll have more next hour on this arrest here on Good Morning Suncoast. And a Manatee County woman is charged with property damage after deputies say she overdosed and crashed her car into a wall. The crash happened along Cortez Road. The driver, 34-year-old Kelsey Flynn, was given 2 milligrams of Narcan at Manatee Memorial Hospital. The responding deputy says she was alert and did not suffer any major injuries, but was unaware of what happened after that crash. And law enforcement in 5 states are working together to reduce the number of crashes on the roads. The Florida Highway Patrol taking part in a week-long initiative with Georgia, South Carolina, Alabama, and Tennessee to reduce serious injury and fatal crashes. The top priorities: making sure drivers obey speed limits, wearing a seatbelt, and avoid texting and driving. The goal is to raise awareness of traffic safety issues and also enforce traffic violations to help drivers arrive alive.
A boil water advisory is still in effect this morning after a water main break in Sarasota County yesterday. It happened here on Beneva between Proctor and Clark Roads. The break also caused that hole in the road to form and also caused some lane closures throughout the day. Crews will return to the road this morning. Residents living nearby in the Lake Arrow condos and Beneva Woods subdivision are affected, and they're being asked to boil their water as a precaution until told otherwise. No word yet as to what caused this break in the first place.
Local drinkware company Tervis got the chance to represent Florida and the Suncoast at the nation's capital yesterday. The company was chosen to attend a Made in America product showcase in Washington. President Donald Trump hosting that event to send his message of putting America first by offering each state the opportunity to showcase a product that is made here in America. The president believes it'll help the economy and also help create jobs. The popular company is based out of Venice and has about 700 workers.
Manatee County may take an idea from Marion County when it comes to dropping homework assignments for younger students. School Board Chair Charlie Kennedy wants to discuss the idea at an upcoming meeting, but opponents on the board, like John Colon, think it's a bad idea. Colon thinks homework gives parents a chance to work with their children.
A student doing 20 to 30 minutes of reading with a parent or sibling or family member is much more valuable to that student's educational experience.
Every teacher teaches differently. So why should we as a school board mandate across the entire spectrum of the county that there's no homework?
We had those 2 names reversed, by the way. We'll change that next hour. Manatee County Superintendent Diana Green is out of town this month and could not be reached for comment. Kennedy believes the change would ultimately be her decision anyway. And this summer, other Manatee County students are volunteering for even more homework. The Educational Consultants Consortium in Palmetto is hosting a summer work and school program for students who need extra help in class. For 5 hours a day, students work alongside custodial staff at local middle schools for a paycheck and then spend 3 hours at tutoring in 3 locations around the county. Organizers say it helps kids go back to school in the fall ahead of where they left off when the summer began.
Why I do it is just to get out of the house so I can do something so I'm not being lazy.
You still have to do some academics. You just can't go. I don't think students should go idle without having some kind of academics to have them ready.
Students can make up to $1,700 each through the summer program. That's interesting, that homework. One person said, well, parents can work with the kids on their... My parents didn't help me with my homework. Did your parents get involved with your homework at all?
Yeah.
Oh, they did? Well, that explains why you're a scientist.
No, not really. Yeah.
Really?
I grew up in a time when, there was one parent at home most of the time. So.
Right, me too.
True.
Yeah. So.
How about you?
I actually had a babysitter who mostly helped me with my homework. My mom was a full-time working mother, and so was my dad. And so most of the time I had a nanny who would help me with my homework because my mom would come home about 6 o'clock in the afternoon. So.
But I also grew up at a time when there wasn't a lot of homework.
Yeah. That must have been nice. I always had buckets of homework, I felt like.
Play.
He was a busboy at the Last Supper.
Just about, yes. Sorry. Autographed Bible. We have across the region some pretty decent weather shaping up for us this afternoon. I think during the morning hours and early afternoon, though, we could see some showers around. We'll talk about that.
All right, thanks, John. Still ahead, we'll take a look at a unique farm here on the Suncoast in our latest installment of A Place We Call Home.
And later in the hour, the latest plan to replace Obamacare on Capitol Hill. You're watching Good Morning Suncoast on ABC 7.
My name is Julius. I have cerebral palsy. I work for Farmer Jeffrey Weising Law Firm. I do a lot of data entry and scanning documents. I want to increase my working experience to make the company much better. At the end of the day, it's good to think of the day's work and to think about what I have accomplished.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to abilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Are you Goodwill?
Yes, because when I donate
or shop at Goodwill,
I'm creating a job.
I am Goodwill, yeah.
Is your old garage door stuck or broken? Would a new one give you a lift? Let Precision Door Overhead Garage Door Service of Sarasota come to the rescue with prompt and affordable repair service. Replacement doors come with an array of styles and colors, and they are rated to meet and exceed Florida standards. From estimates to installation, your satisfaction is our priority. If you're not 100% satisfied with any product, service, or installation, we will make it right, because Precision Door Service is a name you can trust.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. We promise we're more than a dealership. We're a destination with a movie theater, massage room, aquarium, cafe, and more. We promise to give you top dollar for your trade, even if you don't buy from us. And if you do, we promise you the best deal. Bring us any competitor's ad and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
Glasses and contacts. You need them to see, but they put such a strain on your life. Due to new advances in vision improvement technology, LASIK is now affordable for almost everyone, with procedures starting as low as $299 per eye, and over 1 million procedures performed by our trusted independent surgeons. LASIK surgery is a sensible, safe, and affordable solution to improve your vision. So call now to talk to a LASIK Vision Institute counselor and schedule your free evaluation.
1-800-813-0109.
Today at 4 on Suncoast View.
I'm Joey Panic on Suncoast View. We have tips to lower your electric bill in the summer heat, plus family beach must-haves and Apollonia Grill in the kitchen.
Today at 4 on Suncoast View.
Now, the official Suncoast weather with ABC7 meteorologist John Scalzi.
76 the current air temperature with a dew point of 72. We have a southeast wind today that's going to be kind of light, allowing for a sea breeze to develop early on, just like we did yesterday, switching our winds to the southwest as we head into the later morning and into the early afternoon. Right now, southeast at about 6. We have across the region temperatures that are pretty uniform. 75 degrees in Wauchula, Arcadia, Mayaca, Parrish, Bradenton, Lakewood Ranch at 76, Northport at 78, 76 degrees in Punta Gorda. And then you get along the coastline where they are a little bit warmer. 80 degrees at Longboat Key, 79 in Venice, and 80 degrees in Inglewood. Similar pattern to exactly what we saw yesterday. As far as the forecast goes, again, a southerly wind flow aloft, helping to enrich the moisture across the state of Florida. Showers ongoing across the periphery of our peninsula, areas in the Gulf waters and the Atlantic waters, plus a trough of low pressure in northern parts of the state, enhancing rainfall chances for the Panhandle, for the northern Gulf Coast, and for the mid-Atlantic this morning. Locally, things are pretty quiet, though we do have one lone shower kind of working its way closer to Venice right now. That could produce some moderate rainfall through that area. Again, today we don't expect severe weather, but certainly there could be some pretty good downpours of rain. If you look at where the rain is across the country, you've really got kind of two hot spots, one along the coastline and then another back to the west in the areas of the northern tier. That's pretty much where the action is going to happen today along those zones. The high pressure ridge to our north remains to our north, kind of keeping us safe from any of these approaching low pressure areas or troughs of low pressure. They're stalled out. They're not going anywhere. This high pressure ridge is anchored in place. To its south and across Gulf waters, nosing across really right over us, is another area of high pressure, which again is going to provide us with pretty light winds again today and allow an early onset of our sea breeze, pushing our showers that develop near the coast across toward the other coast. Now, we could get some outflow from those storms that produces a little more showers toward the evening hours, the overnight, and then again toward morning tomorrow along the coastline. So early coastal storms, east-moving storms inland, and early sea breeze formation. Those are the forecast highlights that carry us really right into next week, I think. Drier air located to the north is locked there by that stalled frontal boundary, so we get the showers and the warm, moist, humid air starting around the lunchtime hour, moving inland later in the day, and then developing again along the coastline tomorrow morning. Now, out in the tropics, we do have some action going on out there, a couple of storm systems to look at. The rainfall that we get over the next couple of days, located mostly along the spine of the state, is caused by sea breeze interactions. Has really nothing to do with the tropics. We have a lot of sunshine in store for us today. These are the two areas of disturbed weather, one with about a 40% chance of development, and then a newly named storm, Dawn, with a forecast track that'll take it through the southern parts of the Caribbean, very close to South America. Has no effect on our weather whatsoever and will probably fall apart over the next couple of days. Looking at a daytime high temperature hovering around the 90 mark right straight through the remainder of the week. We'll have a 50% chance of showers starting early along the coast and then moving inland. Back to you.
All right, thank you so much, John. Let's take a look at traffic this morning. Looks like 301 heading southbound, seeing a few slowdowns. Also 41 in Cortez as you turn around that bend. As we head into Sarasota County, some big slowdowns on Fruitville heading towards the interstate. Also some congestion on Bee Ridge and Clark Road as you head towards 41. And in South County, looking pretty quiet throughout that area. Luckily, no accidents. It's 5:18 on your Tuesday morning. Well, no matter how long you've lived here on the Suncoast, you've probably been to some places, and there are still other places that you may not know about.
Yeah, how about a farm dedicated to miniature horses? I didn't know about that one. Our Linda Carson has details, and today's A Place We Call Home.
The Fallen Pine Miniature Horse Farm is home to 134 miniature horses. How tall is a miniature horse?
Miniature horses measured at the last hair of the mane, and 34 inches and under. Or in the last few years, we've started breeding those miniatures with your Shetlands, crossing them over. And they make wonderful Arabian-looking horses.
The little horses love people.
A miniature horse just like a big dog. They'll crawl in your lap. You get kisses, you get lots of affection from a miniature horse, much more so than a big horse.
Judy says a miniature horse can do anything a big horse can do. She doesn't recommend riding them, but she says they're great cart horses.
They learned to pull when they worked in the mines in England back in the 15th and 16th centuries, and they learned to pull. They love to drive a cart. And a miniature horse, one good-sized miniature horse, 30 to 34 inches, can pull 1,000 pounds.
Judy is a renowned breeder.
All of my stallions are no less than 2-time national champions. One is 8 times a national champion and one is 14 times national champion. I do believe if you're going to raise something, you should raise a quality animal.
A 4-H club group meets here, and the members show the miniature horses. They bring home a lot of trophies.
They're very active all over the state of Florida showing. We go to nationals every year. My kids always are in the top 10 in the nation.
And kids 4 to 14 come here for summer camp.
We do all types of activities, anything the big horse does, trail obstacle, jumping, liberty, halter, color, you name it, and we do it.
Judy says working with the little horses is a healing experience.
I've had autistic kids here. I've had all types of the exceptional students here. We work with them. I do 5 to 8 nursing homes here a year where the people come.
It's healing for the horses, too. This is where Sarasota County Animal Control brings abused or neglected miniature horses.
They're put here, and we bring them back up to good health. I mean, they do come, some of them pretty sad looking. And we bring them back up to good health. And the kids work with them, so they're real friendly when they leave us.
Fallen Pine is open to the public. All you need to do is call ahead and make arrangements for a tour. These wonderful miniature horses and this great farm, one of the reasons the Suncoast is such a great place to call home. Linda Carson, ABC 7, your Suncoast News. Hi there, Liberty. Hi there, Liberty.
Love it.
Linda, she's always great.
You weren't here when a goat knocked Linda down.
I was not, but I've seen it all on social media. I've seen it all. She's a brave woman to get out there every single time, again and again, with another animal.
She is wonderful.
She is.
Up next on Good Morning Suncoast, we'll tell you why a D.C. area mall may regret hiring a robot as a security guard.
And coming up at 5:30, major retail stores are closing their doors across the country. How it'll affect shopping here on the Suncoast. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
What if you had a medical emergency away from home?
My chest hurts. I can't breathe.
What you need is Mobile Help, America's premier mobile medical alert system. Most systems only work at home, but with Mobile Help, you get help outside the home with coverage nationwide on one of the largest cellular networks at the press of a button. Call the number on your screen for a free full-color brochure. We'll send you everything you need, including this base station, the patented mobile device, and the waterproof pendant and wrist button. You can also add the fall button that automatically detects falls and signals help. Call today and receive a risk-free 30-day trial. There is no equipment to buy and no long-term contract. For a limited time, you will also receive a free emergency key box with your plan purchase. Remember, Mobile Help keeps you safe coast to coast.
Call 1-800-916-8638. That's 1-800-916-8638.
Record-setting hot weather means your AC is working overtime to keep your home cool, which can lead to high bills. That's why we're bringing in the energy experts from Florida Power and Light Company. Watch ABC 7 News from 5 to 6:30 tonight to get your questions answered during the FPL Ask the Energy Expert phone bank. From free online tools to FPL's new mobile app. Learn how to save energy and money, only on ABC 7.
Ever since I can remember, I've been intrigued by industrial design and the optimization.
Wait, that's passion? Ever since I can remember, my passion has been industrial design. We need 3D printers for Miss Adams' engineering program so that we are ready to solve 21st century challenges.
Impressive. Think It Up is a new initiative to support student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classroom today? Think It Up.
We've got a nice picture from our friend Bill Watrous, who caught this sunset from Bradenton Beach while he was on vacation recently. We love seeing the pictures you can send this way.
Yeah, beautiful shot there.
Check, there's our contact information. You can send us pictures or even story ideas. A lot of folks will see us in the street and say, hey, I got a story idea. Here's how to get a hold of us. There's our respective contact information within Facebook.
Yeah, and definitely we always post stories that we're following too, some things that are going on around our community, around the country, all of your top headlines, so on and so forth, right there on our Facebook page, my Twitter page as well. So you can follow us right there.
Yeah, love to hear from you. It's your show too, after all.
Well, 5:25 this morning, and Uber is announcing in-app tipping that is now available to drivers nationwide.
Plus, Amazon is poised to enter the $2 billion market for meal kits. ABC's Candace Gibson and Adrienne Bankert have the story.
In today's Tech Bite, something new today if you take an Uber.
Yes, you can now leave a tip through the Uber app, and today the company is matching all tips as a way of thanking its drivers.
Riders will be able to add the tip after they rate their drivers up to 30 days after the trip.
If you do that, you have one great driver.
You really liked him.
Yes, it appears Amazon is about to enter the meal kit market. It has filed a trademark slogan.
Meal kits are pre-measured, fresh ingredients delivered to homes. It's already a $2.2 billion market and growing rapidly.
And a security robot designed to keep people safe at a Washington, D.C. complex took an embarrassing tumble.
Yeah, take a look. The robot fell into a water fountain and couldn't get up. It has no limbs, so mere mortals had to come to the rescue. The image sparked a string of hilarious tweets attributing the mishap to everything from suicide to baptism.
Aww.
Those are your Tech Bites.
Have a great day.
Tech Bites, brought to you by Quicken Loans.
Maria is an incredible mom. When it comes to helping her daughter, shopping for groceries, unclogging the sink, setting up dentist appointments, and planning birthday parties, nobody does it better. She's also in a rock band. Look at her shred. But when it comes to mortgages, she's less confident. Fortunately for Maria, there's Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. It's simple, so she can understand the details and be sure she's getting the right mortgage. Apply simply, understand fully, mortgage confidently.
When it comes to food for your best friend, there's good, there's better, and then there's Blue Buffalo. Blue is made with wholesome ingredients, and real meat is always first. If you love them like family, feed them like family with Blue.
In Cortisone 10, you get the power of 10. The power to take on skin itch and irritation and get fast-acting, long-lasting relief. Relief that lasts 10 full hours. Triumph over the itch with the power of 10. Cortisone 10.
Being the caregiver for my husband is truly a blessing, but sometimes it's easy to lose a part of myself. To be my best, for him and for me, it's important to have time to be able to recharge. When I called Tidewell Hospice, they gave me the chance to do just that. They helped me find the time to care for myself, all the while with the peace of mind of knowing my husband is in the very best hands. Tidewell Hospice, it's more than you think.
The kitchen is where life happens. Minnesota Flooring now offers a wide variety of beautiful quality craft-made cabinetry to make sure the heart of your home reflects your style. Visit us today at our new kitchen and bath cabinetry locations.
This is important news for women who were administered chemotherapy intravenously for breast cancer and then suffered permanent hair loss. Some women administered the breast cancer chemotherapy drug Taxotere have suffered from permanent hair loss on scalp, eyebrows, and eyelashes. If you suffered permanent hair loss after chemotherapy for breast cancer, call the law offices of Davis & Crump right now to find out if you are eligible for a cash award and medical expenses. Call now. Operators are standing by.
Invest in Kids is a $7.5 million project to build a new Boys and Girls Club in South Manatee County. I'm Caleb Grimes, and I was a club kid. It's where I learned important life lessons, leadership, integrity, responsibility, and baseball. Thousands of kids attend the Boys and Girls Clubs, and after years of use, their club is slowly falling apart. Help us invest in kids. Make your donation today.
Everything all right? Actually, you know how Tom had knee surgery? Sure. We found out Brad's been taking his painkillers. And it turns out he's been doing it for a while.
Most people don't know what to say about drugs, but we do. Visit us at drugfree.org.
A promise was made, a promise that hit the beaches of Normandy, a vow that captured Iwo Jima, a contract that weathered Tet, a pledge that stormed the desert in Iraq, an IOU that braved IEDs in Kandahar. A promise was made to America's veterans. DAV fights to keep that promise, so all veterans and their families get the benefits and support they earned. For help, visit DAV.org.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com for Chef Judy's favorite recipes, restaurant guide, and more. Go to mysuncoast.com/dining.
This half hour on Good Morning Suncoast, more Republicans jumping ship on the president's plan to replace Obamacare. We'll tell you what's next for the bill.
Plus, the loss of Macy's and now Sears is leading to more shopping malls closing across the country. We'll tell you what local malls' future might be in jeopardy.
And the city of Venice and Neal communities are headed to court. We'll tell you what's at stake next on Good Morning Suncoast.
Live from the ABC 7 studios, this is Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you.
And good morning, 5:31 right now, July the 18th. Glad you're with us. I'm Ray Collins.
And I'm Jacqueline Matter. Certainly glad to have you with us. Hopefully you're enjoying a warm cup of coffee.
Yeah, we certainly are.
Yes, we are. But I know we had talked about the rain. You said you didn't see any. I saw plenty of it, but I'm hoping that maybe we can keep it off for just a little bit today. I'm trying to get a good run in outdoors, if that's possible.
Yeah.
You'll have to run in those places where it's not raining.
Good advice.
Well,
thank you very much. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Tell me something I don't know.
Brilliant.
We got about a 50% chance of rainfall today, mostly during the hours of around lunchtime through about 1 or 2 o'clock near the coastline, though we have a shower in progress right now just off the coast of Venice. That shower moving on shore, producing some light to moderate rainfall there. We'll look at a mix of sun and clouds to start the day with building clouds by the noontime hour and a chance of rainfall at about 50%. More on the forecast coming up in a few.
All right, John, very good. There's the roads right now. Manatee County, 301 northbound, little blip there on your screen heading toward downtown Bradenton. Also in Sarasota, strange slowdown there on Fruitville heading eastbound. If you have any idea about that, let us know. And then South County, nothing to speak of at 5:32 on your Tuesday morning.
Topping our news this half hour, it seems the Republican Party's goal to replace Obamacare has come to a halt. For now.
Well, this as 2 more Republican senators announced their opposition. Reporter John Lawrence tells us what's next.
Trump Care's pulse has flatlined. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell issued a statement saying the Republicans' plan to repeal and replace the Affordable Care Act will not succeed.
We've never seen a president put forward a major legislative piece in his early days and have it greeted with such derision and such fear.
The defection of GOP Senators Jerry Moran of Kansas and Mike Lee of Utah slammed the brakes on one of President Trump's top goals.
We must repeal job-killing Obamacare. We have to do that.
But that isn't going to happen, at least not for a while. McConnell says the Senate will soon vote on a bill that will delay the repeal of the Affordable Care Act for a 2-year transition. For years, the Republican Party railed against the ACA, and Donald Trump made it one of his main campaign pledges. So what happened?
Donald Trump, I mean, with all due respect, and his ability to speak to the common man, does not have any idea about health care policy. That is apparent.
Instead of attacking MSNBC anchors and all of these dalliances that we've had on Twitter, he should have been driving his agenda and trying to force senators to feel like they had to go along with a Republican health care policy.
President Trump tweeted Monday night saying Republicans should just repeal failing Obamacare and work on a new health care plan that will start from a clean slate. Dems will join in. Vice President Pence agreed with Mr. Trump's statement, saying inaction is not an option. I'm John Lawrence reporting.
With a Republican bill now in jeopardy, former Vice President Joe Biden making his feelings known, and they're no huge surprise. In a Washington Post opinion piece, Biden said the bill is enough to make your blood boil. Biden calls the bill fundamentally flawed and said it would deny basic health care to Americans who can't afford it. He also cited how cuts to Medicaid would hurt people with disabilities, the elderly, and rural hospitals as well.
In consumer news this morning, there's been a data breach at the Dow Jones. The financial firm says the personal information of more than 2 million customers has been exposed, including subscribers to the Wall Street Journal. An error in a cloud computing service is to blame. However, the company does not believe any data was taken. And our love of bacon is not only hurting our waistlines, but get this, also our wallets. According to the Wall Street Journal, our craving for the breakfast treat is pushing pork prices to record highs, and pig farmers are struggling to keep up with that demand. The market research firm Nielsen says last year Americans bought 14% more bacon compared to 2013.
Shopping mall retail stores have been closing at a record pace. The investment research firm Morningstar is out with a new list of mall locations across the country that are likely to go belly up when Sears closes its anchor stores, including the Westfield Sarasota Square Mall at Beneva and 41. Many experts consider malls to be at risk with the loss of anchor stores.
I think that really more reflects the fact that maybe some of those anchor stores are seen as maybe belonging to an older generation, if you will. That's where my mom and dad shopped.
Sarasota Square also lost another anchor store, Macy's, earlier this year. And a few major retailers are going green for back to school. H&M, Target, and JCPenney will release more fashions made from secondhand and reused materials. These include recycled denim, leather, nylon waste, and even plastic bottles. The move is in response to parents wanting the quality and style in backpacks, jeans, and other clothes, but not wanting to spend a lot of money. The reused fashions could be seen in stores as soon as next month in time for back-to-school shopping. And look at this, caught on camera. Investigators in St. Louis spent the weekend trying to figure out how a car wound up on top of that house. Look at that thing. Police said the driver lost control, which then hit a pole and launched off a curbside hill. Emergency crews wound up rescuing the driver, who was trapped in the vehicle for a little bit. The driver was later hospitalized in critical condition. Thankfully, the house was empty at the time of that crash.
Well, here in the Sunshine State, NASA planned to launch its newest communication satellite in 3 weeks, but it looks like that may not be happening now. NASA says one of the antennas on the tracking and data relay satellite was damaged on Friday. The accident happened inside a processing building as the satellite was being packed up for launch. The mishap could delay the August 3rd liftoff, but right now a mission team is assessing the damage and flight schedule.
Governor Scott was in Tampa Monday to help unveil 12 new people movers at the airport. The so-called Sky Connect trains came in through Port Tampa Bay and features various birds found in Florida on the sides. The new transportation alternative will connect the airport's main terminal to the economy garage as well as the new rental car counter. Crews just have to install the cars and finish the new rental center first. The governor says all the money the state has invested into the port is now paying off.
We have over 900,000 jobs around our ports. We've added over 200,000 jobs around our airports, our ports, just in the last 6 years, and this state's on a roll.
Crews began construction on this project 3 years ago, and work on the guideway structure finished earlier this year. The system should be up and running early next year.
And closer to home, passenger traffic is up once again at Punta Gorda Airport, this time for the 44th consecutive month. The airport saw 108,000 passengers in June, totaling 1.2 million passengers within the past year. Now, part of that increase can be credited to discount airline Allegiant, which services the airport. 381 Allegiant flights have landed at the Punta Gorda Airport in June alone.
We are hearing less this year about the Zika virus in Florida. There have been no outbreaks so far this year. Governor Scott says preparation is key. He suggests Floridians continue wearing bug spray and draining containers that collect rainwater. Of course, 2016 was a bad year for Florida and the Zika virus, with 285 Zika infections in our state alone. This year, 81 travel-related Zika cases have been confirmed in our state, mostly in Broward and Miami-Dade counties.
A case challenging the right to hold third graders back if they score badly on state standardized tests will not be going to the Florida Supreme Court. The court announcing it would not consider an appeal brought on by parents who had their children opt out of the state-mandated reading tests. The Court of Appeal threw out a ruling by a lower court judge who said the districts must consider options other than the standardized test scores when deciding whether to promote a student. Some parents in 6 different counties had their children fill in their name on the test and then not answer questions, and those parents were told their children would have to repeat 3rd grade. And 2 environmental groups are suing the Trump administration for expanding the red snapper season in the Gulf of Mexico. Last month, the Commerce Department gave anglers 39 more days to fish for red snapper, and federal waters were reopened for 3-day weekends and also holidays. The government argues the extension outweighs the potential harm to the red snapper species, which is still recovering from overfishing. But a lawsuit says the decision broke the law by ignoring scientific assessments and also failing to follow required procedures, such as giving adequate notice and time for public comment before making changes. And there's a new push to preserve the threatened eastern indigo snake here in Florida. A dozen young reptiles were released to the Apalachicola Bluffs and Ravines Preserve. Organizers say they'll keep a close eye on the snakes over the next decade. They'll also continue to focus on providing healthy ecosystems through land, water, and wildlife conservation efforts.
The indigo snake basically maintains the balance of the population in this type of community. So incredibly important, and it was important that we restored the site and had the right conditions on site before we reintroduced them to give them the best chance of survival so they can repopulate the area.
Well, eastern indigo snakes are actually the longest native snakes found here in the U.S.
Here on the Suncoast, the city of Venice has filed a lawsuit against Neal Communities, hoping to get clarification on a matter the two sides just can't agree on. The city has a long-standing annexation agreement that requires new home builders to pay a certain fee before they can get a certificate of occupancy. According to the city, Neal Communities does not want to pay that fee any longer. After 2 years of back-and-forth negotiation, the city has decided to file a lawsuit against Neal to have a third party make the decision.
After this period of prolonged negotiation, we haven't made a lot of progress, so the city decided to seek a judicial solution to this, that is, ask a judicial body to determine whether or not it's appropriate for us to collect the fee.
And Neal Communities says the company agrees with the city's decision to send this matter to court. Stay tuned. More homes on the way to Lakewood Ranch. The Mallory Park at Lakewood Ranch community is going in between State Road 70 and State Road 64. The community will feature single-family homes as well as townhouses, prices starting in the mid-200,000s. And Divesta is breaking ground on the much-anticipated Mallory Park at the Lakewood Ranch Amenities Center. A nearly 6,000 square foot coastal-inspired center will feature several amenities with a spa and resort-style pool with lap lanes, a fire pit with a seating area, basketball and pickleball courts. The community offers single-family 1- and 2-story homes as well as 2- and 3-story townhouses ranging in price from the mid-200s to more than $700,000. These are all stories we wouldn't have done about 8-9 years ago during the recession.
Yeah,
that's true.
Glad these stories are back again.
Yeah, a building boom going on now, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Showers in the forecast. We'll talk about that in a second.
All right, still ahead, could artificial sweeteners be doing more harm than good on your body?
We'll tell you about a new research suggesting they may actually cause you to gain weight. Up next in Health Smart.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. And services.com, A-N-D, services.com.
Is your old garage door stuck or broken? Would a new one give you a lift? Let Precision Door Overhead Garage Door Service of Sarasota come to the rescue with prompt and affordable repair service. Replacement doors come with an array of styles and colors, and they are rated to meet and exceed Florida standards. From estimates to installation, your satisfaction is our priority. If you're not 100% satisfied with any product, service, or installation, we will make it right, because Precision Door Service is a name you can trust.
Attention blood thinner users. Thousands of blood thinner users may have been exposed to serious risk by these dangerous medications. If you or loved one took Xarelto or Pradaxa and suffered serious internal bleeding, call right now. Call Nightline Legal to speak with an experienced attorney for a free consultation. If we don't win, there is no fee. There are time deadlines to file a claim, so don't wait. Call right now.
Call 1-800-554-3987. Again, that's 1-800-554-3987.
My name is Luke Perry, and I am 1 million strong. I'm in the fight against colorectal cancer because I believe we can win it. Colon and rectal cancers are the second leading cause of cancer deaths among men and women in the U.S. Colon cancer is preventable. Know the risk factors and make sure to get screened. There are simple, take-home options available. Take control of your health. Screening for colon cancer isn't embarrassing. It can be life-saving. To find out more about your options, visit fightcrc.org.
I am powerful beyond my wildest imagination.
I will define my future.
I will keep challenging myself to improve. Because I am a future leader of this great nation.
I will make a difference in my community.
I will not settle for simply chasing my dreams, I will achieve them.
Because I was given a chance.
An opportunity.
At Family, Career, and Community Leaders of America.
The ultimate leadership experience.
Join us. We'll build a new future together.
I took my first handful of pills, and that's when all my priorities seemed to change.
He would ask to use the bathroom in other people's homes.
He just assumed that they would have medication.
He'd go in their medicine cabinets and steal prescription drugs.
I wish I knew really what these prescription pills were.
We were so naive about the whole drug thing.
These are all synthetic forms of heroin.
Keep your medication locked up because you'll never notice that a pill is gone.
Mind your meds. Learn more from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
I am the resident district manager on the FAU campus for Chartwell. Whenever I see Haley, I do not see a person with a disability. I see a person with extraordinary abilities. Haley is always smiling. She's always on time. She gives fantastic customer service and is always focused on any job that she's given.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to abilitieswork.employflorida.com.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. And services.com, A-N-D, services.com.
Now, the official Suncoast weather with ABC7 meteorologist John Scalzi.
Quiet out there right now, though we do have one shower in progress around the Venice area. Other than that, things should be pretty much rain-free for the next hour across the land areas. 76 degrees the air temperature, dew point is at 72. We do have some showers out in Gulf waters, however, and some of that cloud cover kind of streaming back from time to time across the region, giving us a mix of sun and clouds this morning. Or at least clear skies and clouds right now. Sun and clouds in about an hour. 75 degrees in Wauchula, 75 in Arcadia, Mayaca at 76, 75 in Parrish, Bradenton at 76, 76 at Lakewood Ranch. We have 77 degrees in Northport, 80 degrees in Venice, 81 in Inglewood, and 80 at Longboat Key along the coastline, of course, a little bit warmer. The effect of a general southerly wind flow, quite evident in the motion of these little cells out in Gulf waters, and the effect of a trough of low pressure kind of extending from the mid-Atlantic all the way down through the northern Gulf waters, also very visible by that trail of rain showers in progress currently. Along our region, well, we've got that one storm moving in closer to Venice. Otherwise, the nation looks pretty quiet for the most part, except around the northern tier states. The Dakotas, Wisconsin, all seeing a few scattered showers around today. Minnesota as well. High pressure, the dominant weather feature for most of the deep south, though. If you're going to the Atlanta airport today or Raleigh-Durham or Charlotte airport, should be okay. There will be some scattered showers around, but no severe weather anticipated. And for our area, sea breeze starts early under the influence of light winds from a high pressure ridge anchored just about over us. So with that earlier sea breeze, we get some showers along the coast as we're seeing right now, which move inland and toward the other coastline as everything kind of dies out later in the day. A little bit of drier air located to the north stays to the north. We don't get any of that. We're in the warm, soupy mix right straight through the remainder of the week. Not much changing there. The showers start early on. They move inland. And a few of the showers might work their way back toward the evening hours. Again, tomorrow morning, chance of showers along the coast, and then they move inland once again as well, with a few of them back building under the influence of some outflow of inland storms. Forecast calls for daytime highs near 90 and about a 50% chance of showers. Early start near the coast, inland storms later in the afternoon. Back to you.
All right, thank you so much, John. Taking a look at traffic in Manatee County, looks like a few slowdowns throughout the area, but nothing to be concerned about really throughout that area. Again, in Fruitville Road, your biggest slowdown in Sarasota County. Lots of congestion as you're heading towards the interstate, so keep that in mind. Also, looks like there's some slowdowns on Siesta Key if you're heading throughout that area at 5:49 on your Tuesday morning. But South County looking pretty clear, so not a whole lot going on throughout that area. No accidents on the Suncoast this morning, which is great news. In this hour's Health Smart, could the artificial sweeteners in your diet soda or even your coffee actually be causing you to gain weight. I really hope not.
I'm out of answers if it is. New research could provide an answer that might surprise you. ABC's Elizabeth Herr explains.
If you're drinking coffee, tea, or a soda right now, you may be drinking an artificial sweetener too. Aren't we all watching our weight? Well, now a new study in the Canadian Medical Journal says we might be watching it rise. They looked at more than 400,000 people who regularly used artificial sweeteners over the years, and the news isn't so sweet. Those using sweeteners were more likely to gain weight, have high blood pressure, and possibly develop strokes. Diet sodas and artificial sweeteners don't lower your weight. Your diet has to do that. Hard to swallow. With this Medical Minute, I'm Elizabeth Herr.
I did hear a piece of information about sweeteners in regards to aspartame. If it's in diet sodas, your body can't break that down like it does sugar, which is in regular sodas like that. But I don't know about stevia and things like that. So.
Yeah, I'll say to my wife, which one of these sugars do I want? And she'll say, yellow one, not the green one. But no, diet soda and soda, like acid in your system.
Oh, exactly.
Still ahead on Good Morning Suncoast, a recap of the day's top news headlines, and Apple announces its newest round of emojis.
Ooh, well, we'll tell you the unique images the company is adding and when you can expect to see them on your smartphone after this.
What to do when your heating or air conditioning needs service or, heaven forbid, replacement? Call Air Now today. We've been serving Sarasota and Manatee counties since 1946. We offer $49.95 tune-ups, lease or finance options, and remember, service today or it's free.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
This is an important announcement. If you're between 50 and 85 and worried about your loved ones, you can still get affordable life insurance for peace of mind.
My life insurance coverage is guaranteed, and I was not required to get a medical exam.
I had high blood pressure and diabetes, and I got my coverage with one telephone call. No exam necessary.
I'm a smoker, and I wanted to take care of my family. I called to get my life insurance and my affairs in order. I wanted to do the right thing.
Call Final Expense No Exam Insurance. Your rates are guaranteed and will never increase.
I called and learned that this insurance cannot be canceled even if you get sick or gain weight.
And there are no restrictions on how my beneficiaries use the money when I'm gone.
Approval was easy and the price was right. I wanted to do this for my children.
Call 800-738-9812. 800-738-9812.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. Our promise means a new car you'll love. If not, return it for one you do. At Sarasota Ford, we promise live market pricing. We monitor national pricing on our entire inventory, so you get the best deal. In fact, we guarantee it. Bring us any competitor's ad, and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
What if you had a medical emergency away from home?
My chest hurts. I can't breathe.
What you need is Mobile Help, America's premier mobile medical alert system. Most systems only work at home, but with Mobile Help, you get help outside the home with coverage nationwide on one of the largest cellular networks at the press of a button. Call the number on your screen for a free full-color brochure. We'll send you everything you need, including this base station, the patented mobile device, and the waterproof pendant and wrist button. You can also add the fall button that automatically detects falls and signals help. Call today and receive a risk-free 30-day trial. There is no equipment to buy and no long-term contract. For a limited time, you will also receive a free emergency key box with your plan purchase. Remember, Mobile Help keeps you safe coast to coast.
Call 1-800-916-8638. That's 1-800-916-8638.
There's a pretty shot of the Ringling Causeway heading over towards St. Armands, and Lido Key, and Longboat Key. Nice day.
It certainly is, and as I mentioned earlier at the top of this show, I was trying to get a run-in over that bridge today, but as long as that rain holds off or sporadically holds off here and there, you just gotta dodge it, I guess.
I use the treadmill myself.
Yeah, I love that run though. It's a good run, it's a good workout.
It's windy and cars are close.
Well, okay. Other than that, it is a pretty good, intense workout for the most part. Welcome back, 5:55. Let's take a look at some of the top stories here on the Suncoast today.
A water main break is slowing traffic on Beneva between Proctor and Clark. The break is also causing nearby residents there to boil their drinking water until further notice.
Plus, the search for a missing girl with ties to Manatee County ended in the woods in southern Hillsborough County. Deputies are trying to figure out who killed 13-year-old Janessa Shannon of Riverview. She disappeared just 2 weeks ago.
And a Suncoast company was honored at the White House as part of Made in America Week. Tervis Tumbler represented Florida in the president's effort to highlight American-made products. Tervis employs 700 workers in North Venice.
Finally this hour, you can show even more emotion through your text messages with dozen new emoji characters. Later this year, you can start using a genie, an elf, and a zombie to describe your mood. The new additions also feature more inclusive rules for women, such as one wearing a headscarf and another breastfeeding as well. Interesting. Huh.
I think it's a generational thing. Are you a big emoji guy, John?
I will admit to a smiley face.
Oh, that's about as far as I'll go, too.
There you go. Oh, I love emojis.
I know you do. We'll update the local news headlines after this.